Hello everyone, very good morning and welcome back once again in my YouTube channel CloudX India. Guys, this is the second session of AWS IAM and yesterday I covered the first part. So if you missed it, the first part, so you can directly search my YouTube channel from YouTube and look into the first part of IAM videos. Okay, you can also subscribe my channel and share with your friends if you like my channel. Okay, so guys, the next what I left yesterday, so I'll cover in today's topic. So as agenda I started the last day, so I'll just go back once again. So identity and access management I covered. I am users, groups, I am rules, policies, and I am providers. So what I covered in a study session, I just want to highlight this one covered, I am users covered, I am groups covered. Okay. And today I'll talk about roles, policy, and provider. So let's not wait and begin. So the first thing, what is a group? I talked about this yesterday. So group is a collection of multiple users. In detail, you can see my last video. Can I set usage quota for IAM users? So definitely no. So if user has access to launch the virtual machine or EC2 instances, it doesn't mean you can set or specify a quota that user can launch only 10. If it has access, it can launch a number of EC2 instances. Okay, so the very important part of this session is what is an IAM role. So this is most and it's my favorite topic actually. What is IAM roles? Okay, so let's see what is IAM role. So the first thing we have to understand what is IAM role. IAM role is an identity. Identity means it's similar to your users and group. And IAM roles is similar to an IAM user. Yes, it's covered here. It is not uniquely associated with one person. Means if you create a user, like as I created yesterday, Bob. So Bob is uniquely assigned to any of the your team member whose name is Bob. Okay. But IAM role is not associated with any specific identities or one person. Okay. When we will use it, I'll give the scenario. A role is intended to be assumable by anyone who needs it. It means the role can be accessed or used for those member who does not have direct login into your AWS account. Means if you are a member of your different account, suppose there are two account, and you as a user, your account is created in development and you need access in production account to access some resources. So in this situation, since your account is created into the dev, you cannot log in into the production. Reason, production is the different account. In this situation, you will do, you have to take the help of roles, create a role here and give the access, like create a trust between these two accounts with the help of this role, and then user will get the access. So to give the real example scenario, I'll have another picture for you, so I'll show it. So it is assumable role by anyone who needs it. It means a person belongs to different account and need access in different account can use the role. It provides temporary security credential for your role session. So the first thing, role does not have any password. Okay, if you are creating a role does not have any password. Role does not have any security or access key. Okay, so what it does, it simply work as a trusted entities. It works as a service link entities. Okay, and provide you access any user from the different account to log in into this account. Okay, so that also work as a trusted entities. Okay, so let's go to the real scenario what I have into my this picture. Okay, so as I said that a user belong to development account cannot log in into the production account. Reason, the user's account is created into the development, and when it tried to log in into production, the production said, I do not have your credential information, so I'll not let you get inside my account. Okay. And now these two users is belong to the development group. This is a group. Okay. And these two users need access on this S3 bucket, which is in production. Since account is in different account, this user account is in different account, and the S3 bucket in production account, how they will access. So to solve this problem, we have to use the IAM role. I have created a role. I named it CloudX role. So this role work as a trusted entity between development account and production account. So you have to create the trust actually indirectly, if I say. So once you establish the trust, behalf of this role, users from this account can switch the role and log in into the production account. Okay. For this, you have to like do some mandatory work. So what mandatory work you have to do? First of all, create a policy. This is your policy. Create the policy, and in the policy you have to give permission like allow. So since I have given S3 admin access, it means I have given the modify access to this S3 bucket behalf of this policy. So create a policy, give the modify access, and give the access to this rules. Like apply this policy directly onto this rule. Okay. So once you apply the policy, what happen? Anyone who is associated with this rule get the access on S3 bucket with the help of this policy. Okay. So the first two part you have completed, you have created a policy and you have created a role. When you create the role, you make sure you create a trusted role. So how will you create it? So I'll show you into my console. So let's do this together. Okay. So go on to the role, create role, and into the role, when you come into the role categories, so there are multiple. AWS service, another account. Okay. So this is known as trusted entities. Okay. Another account, it means you have to provide the your development account credentials. Suppose I'm just mentioning some number. So take an example. This is your development account. So what you have to, you have to click here and then go on the next. Okay. Create some policy or apply the policy. So suppose you have created this policy. So you have to search from here this policy and apply onto this rule. Okay. So let me do this. So click on the next. Okay. Let me set some, suppose S3 full. Take an example. I just using for example. Okay. And then click next review and type the name. Okay. So name I mentioned CloudX India. Okay. For the definition, you can mention this role is used for cross account access, and then create this role. Oh, very good. So since this account doesn't exist, right, and I do not have at this moment any account. So if you have account, the that account really exists somewhere, so you can use and create the role. But this is the way to create the role. Okay. So suppose I have created a role, take an example. Okay. So this role, take an example, it's created, and policy you have already. Okay. And S3 bucket you have. So, and the next phase, what you have to do, you have go into the development account, create a policy, mention the ARN. So ARN is AWS resource name. Okay. Mention the ARN of this CloudX role name into this policy and apply this policy to this group. You can directly apply this policy to user as well, but since for the easy administration, you use the group, so that if there is another user come in, you need not to apply the policy here. You have to join into the group only. So what happened? You apply the policy into the group, and this user belong to this group. Now, since you have applied the policy and trusted entities already created between these two account, okay, with the help of this role, and now user can first login into its own account. It means into the development account. Once user login into the development account, so user can switch the role. So if user click here, so there is options available. If you log in with a normal user, so the options is available, user can simply switch the role. Once user will switch the role, so user have to put two things. First, this production account number and the role name. Once user put this, so make request, so request goes to this role first. In the roles, so how this role allow or get any other users access into the account, they use the STS, secure token service, or security token service, you can say. So this security token service validate whether the trust entities is established between dev and production or not. If not, then it will not let you log in. If trust entities already created, what happen, it generate a token and provide to the users. User use this token, this is the first step, and this is second step. User use this token, and we hop up this role, it can access the S3 bucket. So this is the one of the scenario, guys, so where you do not have account exists into the account where resource is available, and you need the access on the resources from different accounts, so you have to create the trusted entities and you can get the resources. Okay, so next scenario is also later. So it provides the temporarily security credential for your role. It means the roles does not provide the permanent credential. Okay, any in any role if you go, so I have multiple roles. So if you go on any role, so let me go again. So suppose any of the role you select, any of the role. So suppose I selected this one. So in the role, when you go into the properties, there are multiple options: role ARN, role description, instance profile, path, creation time, last activity, and maximum session duration. CLI API means for the command line and any application programming interface if it is used. Okay, this role is used there. So you can extend, increase the session and decrease the session from here. Okay, so suppose you want the duration, increase the limitation so that user can log in till 2 hours. So you have to click here and modify the permission from here: 1, 2, 4, 8, and 12. And you can also use the custom. So once you click on the custom, so it is saying the permission minimum 1 hours and maximum 12 hours. The permission you can decide minimum 1 hours. So any, suppose this user wants login into this account, so if the set you set the minimum, so this users, the token what STS has provided to this user is valid for 1 hours. And once 1 hours complete, what happened, the social the token will expire and this user will have to retry again. Okay, so you can set the permission from here, and if you want to extend more than 12 hour, it will not allow. So I'll show you. Okay, so whenever you are extending beyond this, so it will not let you allow. So but you can modify it from 2 hours, from 1 to 2 hours. So currently it is set up 1 hours, you can see here. So I can click 2 hours and save it. So as I make it 2 hours, what happen, the session next time when user will log in, the session expiration time will be 2 hours. Okay, so this is one thing you want to set from here. And other thing what you can do, suppose there is some malicious attack on your account from this rules and you want to stop all the access right away, so you can go here revoke session and you can click on revoke session. So what happen, once you click on the revoke session, in the permission bar you can see another policy will added here. So click here. So in the revoke session, what happened, you can see it's a mention deny. Whatever the policy is allowing, it will deny. So click here revoke session. I acknowledge, revoked, and going to the permission, you can see there is AWS revoke older session. Whatever the active session is there. Suppose this user get access and only 15 minute only 15 minutes passed, right? And still this user has 1 hour 45 more minute to access the resources. But as soon as you revoke from here, the policy added here, that is known as inline policy, and whatever the policy or permissions are applied from this user and whosoever accessing this resources from this role, all the session will be expired at the same time. Okay, or denied. So you can do that one also for immediate effect if you want to revoke the access. Okay, so this is the one of the thing. And other thing is, suppose the other scenario of the rules is, suppose you have production account. Here not we are talking about the two different accounts. So we have the production account, and in production account there is an application server and there is a S3 bucket. This EC2 application server needs access on this S3 bucket, maybe to get some information, data, or export some data from application to S3. Since this is the resource and resource cannot access to other resource, okay, directly. And this is not, since this is the resource, not a user, right? So you cannot directly apply the policy onto the resource to access other resources. What you have to do, you have to again use the roles. This role will work as a mediator in between application server and S3 bucket. And definitely a policy, modify policy which you apply onto this role. So what happen? And once you create a role and modify, apply a policy to the role, what you have to do, you have to attach this role with this application server. And behalf of this role, this application server make a call and modify into the S3 bucket. Either it can fetch the detail or it can put the data, whatever the policy permission is allowing to it. So this is the another scenario when you want to give access to your application server into the S3 bucket, you can use this. But make sure the EC2 instances must be in same account, not in different account in this scenario, right? Okay, and you will use the service access role here. Okay, so this role is when you are doing such configuration or applying such policy, right? So you have to check what kinds of role is this. So this is the service linked role. So click on create role and you can see AWS services. So in this situation, you have to tick on EC2 and create the role for it. So in the same way, you have to create the role. Okay, let me show it. So EC2 full, I select this one, take an example. Or no, this is the S3, right? So I'm giving the permission on S3. So I'll select S3, click here, name it demo S3 EC2 S3 access. So in here in the role description, you can see allow EC2 instance to call AWS services on your behalf. Okay, so you can create the role here and you can search this role is available. And what you have to do, you have to give the permission. So what I mentioned, CloudX, no, it's a demo, right? What was the rule? I don't know where it is missed. CloudX EC2 S3 S3. Oh, seems it was not created. Let me create it again one more time. So click here. Okay, select permission S3 full. Keep permission. I'll select set a name this time. Very good name like CloudX S3 access. Okay, create it. Click here. What happened? Okay. Not sure. So let me do one thing. Let me remove some roles from here. So it was not showing there. Okay. So the limitation was exceeded. Okay. So click here, CloudX S3. You can see the rule is created. Okay. And you have to apply this rule to your S3 bucket. So this is one of another case of easy to a rule access. Okay. And let's see the next. What is next one? So what problem do IAM rule solve? So the problem you see, what problem IAM rule solve? So the first problem, if application server needs access on S3 bucket, it cannot directly access, or policy cannot directly apply to the S3 application server. Anyhow, it will, without rule, it cannot access it. So the first problem is solved. So if application need access to the S3 bucket, so the problem solved. And second situation is, if there is account, development account, and user from development account need access on production any resources, they come through the rules. So the other problem it resolve. Okay. And there is one more scenario, guys, so I just want to cover that one as well. So let me cover that one too. Okay, so suppose you have on premises active directory. Okay, your on premises AD. You do not want to create individual users here on your AWS account. You want the user's account, whatever user's account is created in your on premises, you want to allow these users to log in into your AWS account and access the resources. So in this situation, what you have to do, you have to use the identity provider. Okay. In the identity provider, you have to, there are some setup, okay, which we will talk later in my another session. Okay. So if you want to allow or extend the access of your on-premises user to your AWS account, so you have to, what you have to do, you have to create a role here in your AWS account. Okay. And then create entity integrate, do the integration between your on-premises AD and your AWS account. But to do this, basically you need a Azure Active Directory, or there is any other third-party service provider which is available. So you can use Azure AD to integrate. So what you have to do, you have to integrate your application here, and the account information is replicating from on-premises to Azure AD. So this user will appear here. You have to create a group here, and that group is associated with the roles. So you have to create definitely different role, not, don't assume this role. So another role you have to create. What happened? So since this AD is replicating with your Azure AD and this application is registered here, so now user will eligible. Okay. And you have to create a group here, suppose AWS account access, take an example. So and you like join this user into this group. Okay. And then this user will, behalf of this group, will get the access here, and directly they can also get the access here. Okay. So this is one another scenario, but this is a real very interesting. And if you really want to like learn about this one, please let me know, I'll prepare another video for you. So this is one of another scenario. And the next one is, what is a service linked rule? So service linked rule, as I said, if your application need access onto the S3 bucket, so you can use a rule, and this rule known as service linked rule. Okay, so guys, that's all in this topic. Okay, so and accept it. So I have the other thing is policies and IAM providers. Okay, IAM AWS IAM providers. So I'll talk about this one in next session, about the policy and IAM provider. Guys, thanks for watching my video, and Feel free to comment into the comment section box if you like this, on if you need more videos. Okay, please comment in comment box, and so that I can get to know and prepare more video for you. And really, your feedback is warm welcome, guys. So please share your feedback as well. Guys, once again, thanks for watching my video, and please share and subscribe this channel. Thank you.